Okay. Sorry, guys. That ran a little long. Ah, shit, but we have to keep this, though. Who knows what this is? Come on. You remember. Bill Gates. Okay. I gotta stop goofing off. I already kept you guys waiting. One moment. Alright, so part of me didn't even want to talk about this really because it's not even a huge. I did remember to go live on Rockfin this time. I was only a few seconds late there. I only missed the entire thing. Well, actually, that's good. That's a good idea. I can just cut that all out. I don't know if this actually warrants a video, I'm going to be honest with you, but I wanted to get it out there because once again, we have a not a series of coincidences so much as it's just a single one. So I guess the way I'll frame this, because it could be an interesting inclusion to a well-known pattern that we've established among the pizza-related conspiracy crowd, right? Especially in the Pizza Boys social media sphere on Instagram. They're real sickos. So I suppose I'll start with, and props goes to the people in Telegram because they did a lot of this work, and I've got the sources here. I'll put that up on Substack later. I was reviewing, I forget exactly what I was doing. I was going back to some of the old pizza-related Instagram accounts that were like, right off the bat that we're really digging into, right? One of those was the infamous Mr. Solier Instagram page, and I'll pull up the image. So I guess before, does anybody recall exactly how we first found Rachel Chandler? We'll do a little quiz. And I'm pretty sure I've got the right answer to this, but I just want to see if you guys have it in there to see where I'm kind of going with this. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you aren't already. I appreciate that. Hey, Taylor. Cody, what's up? Wes. Ion. Tropical, what's up? Sadud. What's up, Evergreen? All right. You know what? The first time we discovered Rachel Chandler, it was actually through that famous mask image. Remember when the kids are leaning? What was it? The kid was in front of the bed, and those three dudes were on their knees with these like eyes wide shut masks. You remember? Hold on. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sorry, give me one moment. I thought I had that shit up. Okay, here it is. Remember the photo on your left? And by the way, I am in no way pointing my fingers specifically at anybody here. We're just kind of making observations using publicly available information, okay? Don't you remember the image on your left there? The three people in the mask. They're on their knees. They're wearing what looks like ritualistic garb. And that picture was captioned hashtag Comet PP, right? In DC. It's the main subject of that debunked conspiracy, right? And then there's this image, right? Of the little girl in front of the bed. Let me just do a sound check. Yep, okay, we're good. Little girl at the end of the bed, and there's like a light shining down on her. And she's sort of like looking up. It's interesting. That image was captioned hashtag Rachel Chandler. So as far as I know, I think that was maybe the first connection. I'm pretty confident about that. Because I'm pretty sure what happened is we were going through Alefantis' Instagram profile, and who's he friends with other than this guy, Mr. Solier. So this is a screenshot taken from a while ago. Mr. Solier. Right? We'll look more into that later. But the issue with this, it's sort of similar, what I'm playing off here is it's sort of similar to the idea of Alefantis having that Maccabee guy as a lawyer. That just so happens to be, you know, the whole orphanage thing in Haiti, right? That type of coincidence. Not as serious, of course, because that dude was actually on the board of directors for a place that, you know. We're not going in that direction tonight. But, like, what I'm trying to say is I found a coincidence, right? Another one to add to the many coincidence folders we already have. I found something interesting that, of course, fits the pattern entirely. Like, as soon as I figured that out and what I was looking at, I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, down to just every time, if they collect art, it's always the weird dead kid stuff. If they do this, it's always the that. If they do, like, it's always the same with these people. And once again, I did say at the beginning of this that it also could be nothing, right? It also could be nothing. So, how can that be? Well, point is, I went back in time to look through all these Instagram profiles, seeing what I might have missed, and seeing what those profiles were like today. Alefantis' friends. And I figured, well, you know, I don't actually know very much about Mr. Solier. I'm totally pronouncing that wrong. The guy we're looking at here, right? Mr. Solier, 18 plus, whose images we were just looking at. And I was like, but that's kind of silly that I don't know much about him, being as he, she, whatever, is the one responsible for uploading the content that, number one, gave us Rachel Chandler as a name, and number two was probably, based on that alone, worth at least like digging a little bit harder into. But on all the infographics, on all the digs, on all the I just don't see this account mentioned other than in those creepy mask photos and the creepy little girl photo. So I was like, you know, let me change that. Let's figure it out. And if you go to his Instagram account today, and this is where it's either a fitting pattern of a coincidence at best, or just completely nonsense, nothing burger at worst, right? So take a look. So I'm not trying to imply any guilt here either, by the way. We're going to go check out his Instagram, which is right here. There it is. Mr. Solier. Can you guys see it? I requested him a while ago, but he hasn't responded yet. Anyway, the first thing I noticed, guys, was that his bio is different, and his profile picture is different than when we first saw it, and when it was first screenshotted, right? So let's zoom in and see what it was back then. I don't have a date on this image here when this was taken, but it's clearly him. And it says Mr. Solier, Mrs.O, strictly 18 plus. Okay, so that, right, is different than what it is now. With this weird, what is that? Is that a foreign, like, what is that a name? Is that a whatever? That's, all right, so he's obviously still active. He didn't accept my request. I wouldn't expect him to necessarily. But my point is I set out to figure out, okay, what are these guys up to nowadays, right? Just to see. I mean, now that it's been 6 years since all of that, we can actually see patterns emerge in live time, right? Like, now that we know who to kind of look for and what to look for, or at least the general area when it comes to this type of stuff, we're veterans of the piece of symbolism because we've studied for 6 years. Well, let's circle back to these people. What have they done since then? See if things, I don't know, see if you get any hits on anything kind of sketchy, right? And, well, I don't know how to explain this, guys. Like I said, either nothing or it's something, but I looked into Dahbia Benkired. Probably mispronouncing that too. Dahbia Benkired. And you'll be You won't believe this shit. That's all I'll say. You won't believe this. So just, once again, if Mr. Solier is watching this, no hard feelings. I'm not saying you've done anything wrong. All I'm saying is, of all the things to have in a bio, all the things, and we know he changed the thing, right? Because at first it was strictly 18 plus, which is interesting in and of itself, actually, because I didn't know that. And Alefantis' circle. No offense, guys. I know you're all big fans of the show, other than the pizza stuff. They seemed hypersexual, right? So this would kind of fit that pattern. And don't worry, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that that was the observation that I made. I'm sure you guys did too. I just didn't know he had a sexual account. And I would wager, depending on when this image was taken, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like early days of finding. Like if you notice, the mask image is still the first image, right? Meaning it's the most recently posted. This was before you're able to pin posts, things like that. So that could be right as pizza stuff was breaking, right? Coming into fruition. Because the mask stuff was pretty early. Rachel was pretty early. If that was indeed how we found Rachel, but I'm almost positive it was. But correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, if you don't mind. Still have the thummy up, don't I? Yeah, it's okay though. He's still got the mask, eyes wide shut mask shit as the most recent image. And the Rachel Chandler pick not far behind it. And now this begs the question, and I'll show you all of this research. And once again, like credit goes to all the people in my Telegram chat, because a lot of you guys did some of the heavy lifting, because I remember dropping it in the Telegram chat as a challenge, sort of, to see what we can do together to find out what the deal is with this. So I dropped the nugget in there, and then needless to say, we went to town on it for like a couple hours, and you guys immediately pulled some crazy stuff. So I wouldn't be doing this video if it wasn't for that. Now, let's do a counterpoint real quick, okay? Let's just do a real quick counterpoint to be clear, so it doesn't get lost in my ramblings. It's either something, a weird coincidence, or nothing. How can it be nothing? What I'm saying is I'll ask you guys. I want you guys to actually answer this, okay? This is not a rhetorical thing. I want you to answer this. Aside from a crazy pizza-related thing, because we didn't even get to what Dahbia did yet. She abducted like a 12-year-old girl, made her take a shower, and then like slit her throat and then strangled her and then carved or placed numbers, the numbers 1 and 0, on her feet, on her corpse. But that was only after she put her in a suitcase and then just abandoned her in like a plaza in Paris in harvest October. I'm not suggesting there's anything bigger necessarily behind Dahbia. The only thing I'm wondering is just why this guy, Mr. Solier, felt compelled to put it in the caption of his bio, when before it was this, Mrs. O, or Mr. Sol, I don't know, strictly 18 plus. So of all things, why Dahbia, right? So what do you guys think? What's the reasonable explanation? Anything you can think of, like be completely objective. If you were to put Dahbia, why would you put Dahbia Benkired in the caption? And this is why it could possibly be nothing. I'm going to look stupid. One of you is going to put something in the chat I didn't even think of because I'm a little goofy. And I'm like, oh shit, I went deep on this. Too deep. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's kind of a fun thing anyway. And I just wanted to get this on the record, boys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What are you going to do? Are we talking about Jamie Lee Curtis? See, that's a good guess, Taylor. Here's the thing. That was one of the leads we checked out. We did exactly what you would have done and said, okay, could this be her, right? But I know that, well, we found out it wasn't because we found out who this guy is. That information already existed, but like I said, I was really in the dark about this guy, despite, or girl, despite the importance of that one Instagram or those two Instagram images, the mask boys, kid bed images, right? And you'll come to find out, by the way, that, okay, what's a big deal? Rachel probably took that photo of the kid, right? I mean, it was captioned hashtag Rachel Chandler, right? This one? So it's got to be her photograph. Well, no, it's not. This is actually not her photograph. So we have someone in the Alefantis Pizza Bad Boy freak sphere on social media that uploads a photo, professionally done photograph of a kid with a bed, which is not made, by the way, it's been used recently. Okay? Remember, wrinkled backdrop to a model photo shoot was enough to get me a lead on another one, right? You remember that? So if it's not Rachel's photo, why would a guy in that sphere upload someone else's photo and then caption a person, not tag them, hashtag them? That isn't even the person that did the photograph. So he's, in a way, so he's not even trying to communicate with Rachel in a way. Otherwise he would have tagged her. No, but he used a Rachel hashtag. So that would pull in all the tags on Instagram where people used hashtag Rachel Chandler. They did the same thing. So why did he do that? I'm asking. Why did he do that, you think? Best answer I can come up with, I found some info about the guy, and, you know, I should actually be careful. But actually, you know what? I have to do it. Because it's not like he did anything wrong. And he also has some, it appears, I don't know, some level of notoriety and credibility. In fact, you'll probably know the company he's affiliated with, or the company that he founded. It was kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal currently. Let's just get to the information here. It's been a long week, so I'm a little zooped up. I'm a little zazzy. I apologize. But in the meantime, please remember to like this video, share it. If you don't mind, that shit is like currency. We just hit 4,000 subscribers, by the way, guys. Thank you for helping me grow the YouTube channel again. You know, it's been constant ups and downs. But that's okay. We're learning to adapt here on YouTube, but it's at the expense of not being able to upload a lot of footage. But hey, you know what I mean? I'm able to stream at the same time to these other platforms anyway. Why not at least try YouTube? I'm not holding back anything necessarily. So just give me a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes here. Like I said, this is going to be up on my Substack too a little bit later. because I already got these show notes just about finished. Yeah, let's get those thummies up. I appreciate you hanging out. 32 of you on YouTube. That's good. Let's actually check Rockfin this time, so I remember I never checked the comments over there, and that's an accident. Hey, 10 people on Rockfin. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Sorry I always end up starting the live stream on Rockfin late. I always forget, man. I always forget. I wish it was one button. Turns out to be a two-step process, far too complex sometimes for me. Let's continue. New York Post. This is October 16th, 2022, shortly after, the murder took place. Missing Paris girl, 12, found dead in suitcase with numbers placed on her body. Now we're going to examine more recent articles. Not terribly recent. There's not like a ton on this case, but we'll be examining more up-to-date articles in a moment here. A 12-year-old girl was found stuffed in a suitcase in Paris, cut her up, her throat, and then the killer left a bizarre, chilling clue. The numbers 1 and 0 placed on her corpse. I could be wrong, but I think the word here has changed since then. I could be totally making this shit up, but I feel like I just read that. It's all a blur, man. It's all a blur. We'll find out. The hands and feet of the French child who is not named were bound with tape and died of asphyxiation, right? It's totally not a theme that we've been looking at recently. It's just these freaks that like the asphyxiation shit. So I guess initially they took 4 people into custody for questioning. This was as of October 16th, but we know now that has changed. Apparently the girls notified their police. She didn't come home from school from the French capital, I guess, on Friday. But then what happened was, and this is fucked up, the dad took a look at security camera footage of their building and saw the image of his daughter, the victim, Lola, walking out with some woman that's like in her 20s, right? So it's kind of creepy to see the predator walk in through the front door and then walk out with your daughter, right? That's crazy shit. That's horrible. And this is Dahbia, right? Dahbia Benkired from this. So the best explanation I can come up with, right, to give it a fair chance, a really fair chance, is that this has angered France on a national level, apparently. A lot of French press coverage about this. This is big in France. Lots of tweets. I can't tell you if it's trending, not trending. I can't even tell you that I've dug super deep into it, other than, wow, this is a strange coincidence, and I want to find out why it's in the caption. So, since it's a spectacle, a national tragedy, a big funeral, right? It's a big thing. Everyone's sad over the murder of this little girl, Lola, right, in France. Could it be that he, and if we have his information correct, I believe he might be a French boy. I could be totally off. We're going to check that, though. So my point is, would people put that in their Instagram profile as a sign of support for Lola, or like in an attempt to reveal the evil by putting the name Dahbia in it at the peak of the news coverage surrounding Dahbia, right? Do you get what I'm trying to say? In other words, like, pretend there was Instagram and social media back in the late 90s when Marc Dutroux, the Belgian Jeffrey Epstein, got arrested and the trial was going on and everything. So that would be like being as it captivated the entire country of Belgium because these girls went missing. There was citizen attempts to locate them, to find them, to bring them home safe, but it turned out a serial killer, Marc Dutroux, likely on behalf of an elite predator ring connected to the Belgian government. He ended up killing them. He was starving them to death. He was doing all sorts of shit, burying people in his backyard. So that's like someone from that period of time. And those killings, by the way, ended up resulting in the protest of like hundreds of thousands of Belgians on the street. You should see that footage. It's called like the White March or some shit. I forget. It's crazy. They almost overthrew the government, and I'm not joking. It's not hyperbole. Overthrow sounds intense, but seriously, there was almost like a regime change because of it. So that's like someone at that time in that era typing in their caption Marc Dutroux, the name of the killer, Marc Dutroux, after he was arrested. Like, not as victims, right? Wouldn't you, in my opinion, wouldn't, if you wanted to dedicate something in your caption and virtue signal in that way, wouldn't you put the name of the victims? Like, rest in peace, hearts, sad face, I'm so sad, some person I didn't know, like, I mean, of course you feel down, but like, I'm not gonna, you get what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Am I fucking losing it, man? For real. Wes, that's funny. I often wonder what they told Arthur Shawcross why they were implanting electrodes in his head during Vietnam. Yeah, I just find this interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's good to know. Okay, thanks, JC. It's good to know I'm not losing it. It's good to know I'm not losing it. But it's just so simple, and it should be so easy to figure out. But I just can't, for the life of me, think up of any reason as to why I'm gonna put the name of a vicious killer in my bio. Is it a meme? Is it like for meme person? Is this edge posting? I'm just gonna slap the name, the first and last name of like current killers. Like the next time there's, I don't know, next time I'm gonna put Brian Koberger in my bio or some shit. Is it like that? But how can we? And even if it was that, of course, they're joking about it. This guy, maybe, is joking about it because we'd expect them to. Because they apparently have some relation with Rachel, who's into that, and Alefantis, who's also into that. Hanging out with big boy elite politicians that are also into that to the next level. They build subterranean vaults for it and scare people out of their fucking house because of it. So we'd expect that. We'd expect that from him at the least. No offense, buddy, if you're watching this. I know you watch it, but I don't mean to attack you. I'm not saying you're, a lizard or whatever. You might be, but I'm not saying you are, right? I'm not going to tell my audience that you're a lizard with a straight face when I know, even though it's likely. Just kidding. Alright, let's go to the Substack. Once again, this will be up later. You can follow me on there. I'll send you guys the, I can't post that. I'll show you in a little bit. Now, shit. I'm so cautious, like, who I can call out and give credit to in the Telegram chat. Well, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Just please don't get mad at me. So this one, I believe, goes to Lily. She sent me... It was a team effort, though. There's like 4 or 5, maybe a little bit less, working on this lead here. I think it's maybe better if I do it like this. There's one lead that says his name is Boris. Now, once again, I'm not going to get crazy here, going into doxing territory, you know what I'm saying? But if we're right about Boris, that becomes a little interesting, actually. And I'll tell you why. Because, like I said, remember, I told you, you might recognize what company he's a part of, or, Oh, this is interesting. Check this out. There's a really good pizza-related research Telegram channel. It's called V Research, I think. They're like OGs from the day. Shout out to those guys, man, doing fantastic work. Like, some of my videos have come from their work, and I try my best to, give credit where credit's due, of course. I take that and I turn it into, like, something that I can present in a reasonable amount of time. They do awesome stuff. All right. Let's do this. Sorry, guys. A little sloppier than I anticipated, but hey, yo, that's how it beat. Oh, there it is. That's why I'm an idiot. That's my fault, actually. So, V Research says, Mr. Solier, who posted pedo shit, seems to be liking Comet Ping Pong's feed on Instagram to this day. Mr. Solier, the mask man, right? And then he posts these Discord links. And we can go to the archive. Drop that in the chat. I think this is it. Yeah, here it is. This is a forum here. So you can go to recent images in a post by Comet recently. Now, these guys are so fucking thorough, man, because this is important right here. So if you have access, right, to a place like Comet's Instagram right now, let's say, for an example, while they've blocked everyone else, never just take a screenshot. Always try your best to actually archive it in some way. Because even though this isn't a problem right here, it just made me think that, like, if you, like a lot of Volkova, for instance, you know, we got a lot of screenshots, but when it comes down to proving it, we don't have a link to prove she ever uploaded it. So technically, she can just lie her ass off. No, I never uploaded that. And millions of people could say, yeah, you did, I saw it. We would never be able to prove it because nobody used archiving websites like archive.is to save the page as it looks here, right? So I guess he linked to here. I can't log on. I'm not going to do that. Victoria Lynn Reese of Transformer Gallery is in the comments, though, so obviously she's still active with the gang. Oh, good. That's what I was looking for. So that image I just showed you, this is the likes. These are the people that liked those images. And here we have Mr. Solier. And look at that again, guys. A caption change once again. So this is like 3 caption changes alone that we've seen, which is not a big deal. Your boy can change the captions if you wish. This is from April 4th, 2021, I guess. Mr. Solier, IO.JOU. IO.JOU. What does that mean? Well, we'll build from there. See what these guys also found. If this is true, this is interesting. Oh my god. Why have I never seen this? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I probably just straight up overlooked it in the last one. How did I miss that? Yeah, it's probably in this image right here. Wait. Hold on. Dude, hold on. This is blowing my fucking mind right now. Hold on. Did we just encounter a fucking psyop in live time, guys? Look at this shit. Do you guys see the difference? This is from the V Research channel, or website, look. And it's captioned, Mr. Solier pedo activity discovered back in 2016. Click that. And you get this image. And I was just ranting about how good it is to archive, but I just realized, guys, I did see that, but it doesn't have Lolita on it. Let's go back to the images we were looking at before. Remember? This is the same shit. It's got mask on the top left, little girl in the bed on the top right. This is that, right? And yet this features the same image, but it doesn't have Lolita in it. Did we just fucking... So who's psyoping who here? Who added Lolita into the one image, or removed it to upload it to the image I initially referenced? So, in one instance, if you were adding Lolita to the image to make this Mr. Solier guy look more fishy than he is, you would be on the offensive, right? However, if it's the other way around, and you were looking to erase Lolita from the image, you would be doing, you'd be on the defensive there. The fuck is that about? Seriously, am I crazy? No, JC already said I wasn't crazy. A doctor, he's got a doctor here. let me refer to the experts here. What the fuck is that? What does that mean? Why? So which one is real? Obviously, we're gonna have to go with the way back, the actual archive link, right? No, wait, hold on, but this doesn't even come from the fucking his actual Instagram though. This isn't even an Instagram archive link. See, now I'm the doofus. I just thought it was at first. God damn it, dude. We're in the misinformation warfare, 100%. So who either added Lolita or who scrubbed it to make them look better? Damage control. Who's on the offensive? Or is it the defensive? Are we seeing evasive maneuvers? Get that Lolita off my Instagram. Use Photoshop, Israeli cybersecurity firm tactics to get that Lolita off my Instagram without deleting and re-uploading the photos. No digital footprint. I want it gone. Go, go. Mark Zuckerberg personally flies into Ehud Barak's house, of whom it answers the door naked, says, "Come into my lair. We got a lot to talk about." And it's just like a server room filled with crazy shit, small quadricopters just flying around. Fucking Ehud Barak, dude. Yeah, who added it? Who removed it, man? That's crazy. Oh shit, MSI? No, I don't know about that actually. I know, right? Yeah, JC, it's like she very well could be. But who knows? So let's just continue with the story though, because you want to know who that guy is? Boris, and then this guy, Colorizing Wizard. This is just a theory. We don't know for sure if this is him. Boris from Houston was one of the champions in our summer colorizer competition. He developed a neural network to take black and white images and turn them into beautiful full color renderings. How could you predict what colors each flower would be? To do this by hand, you would need to research each flower and make educated guesses on the palette and the arrangement. So this guy made his own neural network. If this is him, Mr. Solier, we don't know. What's Boris's, Mr. Solier, maybe's method? Well, it's going to be above my head, is where it's going to be. So pretty cool, right? Pretty interesting. But again, we're going to have to do chain of custody on this. I have to go back to the Telegram. Because now we're kind of veering away. I mean, it's on topic, but now we're going the next step deeper into like, okay, let's actually look into Solier, which isn't really an issue. Isn't really related about the Dahbia Benkired thing, except for the fact that he put it in his caption. You know what I mean? So, because even if we find out who Mr. Solier is for certain, which, you know, we're about to find out, we'll still never know why he put the Dahbia thing in his profile. You know what I mean? So that's the issue there. Then here's the article covering Dahbia's arrest. Once again, this is French coverage. Remember, guys, hit those thummies for me. Help me out. 43 on YouTube. We're doing pretty good. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you had a good week, too. Mine was pretty good. It went by fast. It was busy as shit, but it went by fast. I'm exhausted. I probably should have saved this until tomorrow because I'm kind of all over the place because I got the sleepies. But I appreciate you hanging with me. We're just booting up, about to just translate this page. It's in French. It's in that fucking jibber jabber. I can't. Got to translate something? Go to Google. You can always count on Google to translate anything. The statements of Dahbia Benkired in police custody. So I'll tell you her statements. One statement was that she killed in order to sell body parts, right? So she said, I sell body parts. So the first thing I do is go to Snopes and look up body parts set. But for real, that's what she said. Do we have a case of the crazies here? I don't know. But what about the numbers? Why did she place numbers? Is this a numerically significant murder? Ones and zeros? Well, that's binary. Imagine Boris has a split personality, Mr. Solier, with Dahbia, because, well, he made his own neural network. So he'd be really familiar with ones and zeros. It's only natural that he dresses as a girl, takes out that little girl, and then places binary on her fucking feet. I'm just kidding. Again, all articles, no, we're not going to do that. So we got an address, the Regional Directorate of the Judicial Police located at 36 Rue de Bastion, Paris. She was arrested shortly before 8 a.m. October 15th at a friend's house in Bois, Columbus. Dahbia Benkired was taken into custody at the headquarters of the Judicial Police. She came out 2 days later, incarcerated in pretrial detention in Fresnay prison. She's being prosecuted for murder of a 15-year-old minor, rape with acts of torture and barbarism. That's crazy. That's a fuck. During her police custody, the suspect was heard 6 times by several investigators. The first audition, I like how they word this audition, it's language stuff. The first probably interview. The first interview dates back to Saturday, October 15th, shortly before 5 p.m. And then the interview, the last one was Sunday, October 16th. As noted by the police in a summary report, the suspect first gave fancy versions, while denying the facts or repeatedly repeating the formula, quote, "I don't want to answer you." She worked during the first 3 interviews to deliver a story steeped in contradictions and implausibilities. Okay, so could be. I mean, she says she's selling body parts. I mean, God knows what else she said, but of course that one was covered by New York Post and kind of hit the headlines a little bit. Not much here, but, in general, over there it was. So the officer says, she's just saying all sorts of crazy shit. And we come to find out that she's actually not even from France and she's homeless. So we could very well be dealing with a mental illness, homeless drifter with a fucking temper or a tendency to violence or something, and then when caught, a tendency to ramble on about all sorts of shit, never committing to any truth. Who knows? That's probably it. And then, of course, why her name is in the caption of Mr. Solier will forever remain a mystery and a curiosity, right? A minor one at that, but one nonetheless, at least in my opinion. So just note that, because like I said, this could be a little something or it could be literally nothing, right? In terms of the pizza stuff. Just an interesting little thing to look into. She met Lola around 3:30 when she came home from school. This is a really... So this whole thing goes on about how Dahbia Benkired apparently went to Lola's building, right? The victim's building. But Dahbia doesn't have a pass that allows her to enter that building and access those elevators. And I guess it caused a little bit of a ruckus, but due to the language barrier, it doesn't really make sense. According to Dahbia's version of the events, until the middle of the 4th interview, so I guess it took her that long to say it, she claims to have never seen Lola, but then, after the investigators showed her 5 photos on which appears the, body of Lola, the young Dahbia says, quote, "Actually, I went to the girl's mother's to get a pass, but she slammed the door in my face. From that moment, I had hatred. So what happens after I see a girl coming in with a pass? They asked Lola's mom or something. Dahbia asked Lola's mom for a pass. Can I get in? No, she was refused. Parents didn't want to lend her the keys. I had my suitcases to take down. I forced them to ride in the elevator with me. It doesn't even make sense. I forced her to ride in the elevator with me, and whatever happened in the apartment trailed off. Coming out with a briefcase, there was the victim in it. So, and here we go. This is what I was talking about before. Lola's funeral was open to the public to honor her memory with respect and dignity. So, my bets, once again, is on the idea that Mr. Solier, whoever he is or she is, just put the name in his caption as like something like this. But like I said, I don't know why they wouldn't just put Lola there, and why did you put the killer's name there? But whatever, could just be a silly judgment call on his part, an accident, no bad intent. And remember, I didn't say anything with bad intent, I'm just merely pointing it out, right? So public funeral, as I said, it's like national tragedy. Maybe not to that extent, but it's got a lot of people angry. So it could be that he is too. But why does he care? Well, there you go. Don't know. And here's the boasting about body parts thing. Probably bullshit, but I mean, can we really take a chance to trust that? Okay, so we have one New York Post article saying that the numbers, the ones and zeros, were placed on her chest. But then we have that other New York Post article talking about how they were on her feet, the one we covered at the beginning of this. What's that about? An basic inconsistency to expect? I don't know. But either way, there's numbers, right? And what are the numbers is my question. Okay, they're numbers, I get it. They're ones and zeros. Was there just one and 1 0? Or was there two of each? Was there 2 of 1 and 1 of 0? Or 2 zeros and 1 1? Like, what was it in a sequence? Right? Was it carved into her, or was it placed atop? I don't know. What was the material? If it wasn't carved or otherwise inflicted upon the victim, was it printer paper? Did she draw it on there with a pen? Where she killed a girl randomly, stuffed her in a suitcase after torturing her to death, and then dropped ones and zeros on her because that's just what we have on us at all times. Like if that were to happen to you, if you were to become a vicious killer out of nowhere, you too could impulse kill and then drop ones and zeros on them. Where did they come from? Probably nothing, but is it? Because I know for a fact numerically significant murders happen all the time. Not like we're featuring something like this. It's a weird calling card. Is it a calling card? We don't even know that. What is interesting, if you want to really put the fucking tinfoil on real quick, is she was killed October in Paris. And that was like Paris Fashion Week that week. You know? And what's really interesting, this is really tinfoily. We're just going to have fun here for a second. Look at this. I'm sorry, guys, but I got to do this. I'm sorry. You guys remember like the nuclear blast dirt modeling site that Balenciaga did? You know which one I'm talking about? I think it's the one Kanye did too. This is so insignificant, but I just have to, you know, just a little Quincy dink there. This shit. You remember now? They're walking through the bomb, the blast site. The only models left alive after the bombs dropped. 2024. Spring 2024. The bombs drop from the aliens, and only a few models are left to reclaim civilization and make it their own degenerate hellscape where they can do all sorts of gross, disgusting, reprehensible behaviors and actions without any judgment. They'll call the new civilization Balenciaga. It's this place. So anyway, that's like right down the road from where Lola was killed, actually. Like right down the road. A couple minutes away, I think. They're both on the outskirts. Just thought that was interesting. Not saying nothing. And then it is also kind of interesting because not only was it Paris Fashion Week around that time, off by a couple days, but it was also extremely close to the plaza that they were at. Give me one moment. I don't know actually the miles. It just looks kind of close, if I remember correctly. Let's double check though, just to be safe. Now, I don't actually have an address for the Balenciaga place. I'm sure someone does, but I have the area. Where was she fucking? Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, the numerals 1 and 0 were also bizarrely written in red on the soles of her feet. There it is. The inconsistency is cleared up. It was a little, and like I said earlier, it was reported that the numbers were placed on her corpse. Okay, so they weren't carved either. They were written in red. The homeless woman charged in the murder of Lola, she was found stuffed inside a suitcase. That killer, Dahbia, told investigators that she had forced the child to take a shower before SEXing, assaulting her, and then boasted about selling body parts. Dahbia was indicted Monday in the grisly killing of Lola. Told investigators that she took the girl to her sister's apartment, forced her to take a shower, and then committed harm of a SEX nature and other violent acts against Lola that caused her death. And the mutilated body, it said, was stuffed in a suitcase several streets away from her home. So what we're at here is, there's what we need to do. 119 Residence, Manine. Okay, sorry, it took longer than I... So, it's one of these, it's up here. So she was either killed or found up here. Like right over here. And Balenciaga, that type of stuff, that modeling thing was going on over here somewhere, I think, if I recall correctly. I was thinking maybe like here. Someone, like I said, probably already has the address. It's a well-known thing. I just didn't get it. And like I said, this was such a small little coincidence type of thing that I was like, I just want to at least elevate it, bring it to the eyes of others just to maybe think on it yourself. Like I said, someone will come up with something probably about what it is. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So I'm just trying to look at that blast site that those Balenciaga soldiers were sloshing through, just trying to survive that apocalypse, but look fabulous and sashay all the way anyway. Fuck the bombs. I'm a sashay anyway, dude. Alright. Either way, somewhere over there. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, man. Same time as that. that Fashion Week, not too far away from actual Fashion Week, and then the numerals, and then the one thing I didn't show you, which is interesting, is Balenciaga's Look 14 series, which is part of the fall series. And it's this series where the the models are photographed, but then given a number. So I know Lola isn't related to this, but if she were, I guess she would have been number 10. I don't know. Like I said, you had to put the tinfoil on for that one, right? You had to. I couldn't resist it. Every once in a while, you have to. Stranger things have happened. And that's not even my intention, by the way, to actually bind Balenciaga to this incident. So, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bind those two things together. They couldn't be further apart, perhaps, right? We'll come to find out. Could be. Needless to say, everything I did show you in this was true. It's factual. You can prove it yourself. I'll dump it on the Substack for you to check. Fact check, actual fact check. It's just so small that I don't know. Right? Yeah, that's right. Oh, interesting. That's a good call. Yeah, Taylor says there's that famous picture of Podesta, with the 14 drawn on his hand, the 14 fish. Yeah, so whose home is Dahbia pictured in if she's homeless? I know, dude. I'm confused too. I guess we're supposed to get the impression that she's an aimless drifter from Algeria that came over to France and shouldn't have been there. And the idea is that apparently, I guess they didn't know each other. I guess they didn't know each other. But for whatever reason, Dahbia entered Lola's building, right? The apartment building they lived in. So the suspect appeared on camera, Dahbia, shared by the family, into the same building. She walked into the building where she was then filmed with the girl walking behind her. So I don't fucking know, man. And then it was found. Okay, it was the suitcase that was found here. Okay. So it's this building somewhere over here, but then it's this. This is where the suitcase was found. Even fucking right down here, even closer to, So, I don't know, man. It's interesting shit. It's fucked up, though, that's for sure. So I guess somewhere around here is where it was found. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? If you have some thoughts on that, leave it in the comments. I would love to hear your idea as to why your boy decided to put the name of a killer in the caption. Is this edge posting? Is this a joke? Or is this some type of maybe perhaps misguided attempt to honor Lola's name, the victim of a horrific, aimless, awful murder, right? Or is it just, just something actually worse than that, right? Do we know for certain who Mr. Solier is? Is it that Boris guy? Because if it's that Boris guy, right? I'm just saying if. That's a big if, guys. But if that's him, pulling it up. Boris Dama, the story behind Dolly Mini, the viral phenomenon? Dolly? That's Boris?
Just captured the imagination of the world to the point where I've seen it in New Yorker cartoons. I see it all over my Facebook feed. It's just an amazing piece of work, and I'm really excited to talk to him about it today. So, I mean, maybe taking a step back for people who maybe aren't familiar with Dolly at all, could you talk about what Dolly is and what Dolly Mini is and Dolly Mega and how you've been working on this?
Yeah. So DALI is that it came from that paper from OpenAI of beginning of last year, and it was really amazing. And actually, the first time I saw it was a tweet you posted about it, and I replied to that tweet, and I was like, I'm gonna build.
Do you guys remember that other caption that we pulled up before on Instagram? It wasn't the 18 plus one that we saw here. See, Mr. Solier, MRS.O. So that can be Mr. Solier, so whatever, strictly 18 plus. But there was that other caption where it was IO dot. Dude, that seems like some tech shit. Like, what did he just say? There was a word there that made me think, like, if that's what it means.
It's
Like open AI. Like, I just wonder if that's some type of domain or something like that, some type of project, some dweeb nerd tech lizard nonsense that he's tinkering with open AI shit. So apparently, I don't know. Boris is the Dali mini guy. If you haven't heard of fucking Dali, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy, right? Now, I mean, it's only crazy through the lens of like if it's actually him right here, right? I don't know. Maybe we can get deeper with that though. Maybe we can do better. Maybe we can do better. Boris, he lives in Houston. He's into technologies. My biography. I'm Boris, originally from France. Originally from France. So I don't know what his deal with Dolly is, but apparently he's got something to do with it. Here he's saying that like his specialty is using ML for art apps and at the moment work on text to image generation to try to replicate the results of Dolly, which is like really good at it or whatever. Okay, so that's interesting. So maybe it's probably still not him, but he is from France. Credit goes to Lily on that. I think that was you. Can we get deeper? I don't know, can we? I truly don't know. Then we've got Jay on Telegram linked to this image here. Where is it? So he just mostly, there's a kid in a cage in this one. See that? Kid in a cage. But then, what do we have here? I think this is Kelsey that got this. You guys ready? So here are the images, just to prove that, I'm not bullshitting you about like the origin of them. So here we have the Mr. Solier pics, right? The mass one that we saw, but look, captioned, hashtag comment, hashtag Rachel. So I just wanted to back that up. And remember how I told you that image of the kid isn't even taken by Rachel. Rachel's a photographer. She does all that. So you'd assume that it's taken by Rachel, but it wasn't. It was taken by a guy named Javier. Also note that this guy, Iron Chafing or whatever, commented on both. Okay, but can we get even deeper? Kelsey sent this on Telegram. Take a look. This is the profile of Javier Senan, an artist, and who follows him. Mr. Solye does, but look, we got a name, fellas. We got a fucking name. Boris. Okay. Back to the infinite question that we'll never find the answer to. Boris, there's a genuine request. Boris, I know you're a big fan of my show. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Don't drag kid superstar me, okay? Why'd you do the Dahbia? Why'd you put Dahbia in your bio? Are you just honoring Lola? Because that's personally what I think. I don't think you're a weirdo lizard, little pedo lizard, little bad boy predator lizard. Not necessarily. But why'd you put Dahbia in there? Boris, please talk to me. Come here. Yeah, you, come here. Come here. Come here, Boris. Well, we got it. Or rather, Kelsey got that. Isn't that fucking nuts? So what the hell is going on there, guys? I don't know what to make of it. Oh, thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, there it is. OpenAI. Okay, good. So Carpathian over on Rockfin came through with the same idea with he's linking to OpenAI, and OpenAI is what I was thinking was maybe had to do with why that was in Mr. Solye's Instagram bio, like the IO dot or the OI dot or whatever. As soon as he said it on that podcast, OpenAI, I was like, yo, I bet you that's it. And now we have Carpathian in the chat over here on Rockfin saying the same thing. At least I think so. I don't know why else he or she would be dropping that here in the chat. So yeah, that's good. We just figured it out independently. Just took me like an hour to do it. Thanks, Amy, for the tip. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5. I'm happy you caught a live show too. Yeah, it's hard because I don't have like a consistent video schedule, show schedule. I try my best though. Best I can say is like a couple videos a week. I aim for at least, aside from those like 2-week breaks every once in a while. Yeah, Todd, I'm glad you're here too. Thanks for hanging out over on Rockfin. For those of you not on Rockfin, definitely consider making the free account and hanging out with us over there. It's uncensored, or you can do DLive. But I like Rockfin. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. Let me check out my DLive though. I do if there's anyone over there, I do apologize that I've missed lemons and things like that. For some reason, since the DLive chat is folded into the Restream chat and the YouTube and the Twitch all together in one, I forgot that I can't see the I can't see your guys. Whoa! I can't see your guys' little ice creams and stuff. Your donations. So I'm gonna check that right now. If you're on YouTube, hit the thummies guys for me. Whoa! Yeah. Do we have anyone? I don't even think we have anyone over here. Oh, 13 people on DLive. Thanks, guys. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of you guys. It's happened in the past. I was looking back. I said, oh, shit. I forgot all about that. I should check on that. Because I so appreciate it. I so appreciative. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to get going. Think on that. File it away. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe you can come up with a more reasonable reason for me, but now it just gets interesting because it just makes you wonder what the Dali Boris boy, who we now know as Mr. Solye, I guess, unless we want to get back to the question of why is he putting the name Boris in his caption, in his bio, right? It's like, I don't know. Fuck, dude. Whatever. Please hit the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe if you aren't already. Share this video, guys. That helps me out a ton. If you wish to send me a tip, you can do so in the Rockfin chat. It's like super chat. Or you can just go to my link tree, hit the PayPals, the Venmos, the this, the that, the Patreon. Now that I can By the way, now that I can upload videos directly to Patreon, that was the only thing standing in my way of Patreon exclusives, guys. I've done Rockfin exclusives, but I didn't want to do one and not the other. So now I can upload videos directly to Patreon. We can throw that bullshit mega cloud service links in the trash, because that's the only way I can do it. The only options I had, because I couldn't pay for the Vimeo account I needed, the only options I had was I either have to make a memory hold Patreon account on YouTube, which diminishes the point, because an exclusive shouldn't be censored. That should be like heavy hitting shit at least, or at least important. What's the fucking point of an exclusive if YouTube's just going to take it down anyway, right? So, okay, rule that out. You try to find other video hosting services where you can make the link exclusive to only a select few people. Odyssey doesn't have that. These other services don't have it, only YouTube. So then you're like, shit, man, seriously? And then finally, Patreon did what it was supposed to do from the beginning, is up and allow for the upload of fucking videos directly. Point is, if you want to throw me a tip, you can also subscribe to Patreon as little as $1. You know what I'm saying? But really, when it comes down to it, as I always say, the real currency is not that fiat monopoly money, baby. It's sharing my video, helping grow the channel, helping me algorithmically. Like I said, we've done good. We've dodged the landmines on YouTube, few slip-ups, very minor comparatively to the track record. 6 years doing this. So when my videos are getting suggested by the algorithm, my Balenciaga videos no less, by YouTube's algorithm, that tells me I must be doing something right in terms of avoiding certain trigger words and not showing just disgusting, horrible shit all the time like I used to. Not bad, guys. Appreciate you for hanging out. All right, I will. I'll probably be going live again tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, it's going to be Sunday probably. Have anything else? No, I think that's it. I gotta get some sleep. I'm fucking tired. This week was crazy. I was gonna hang out for a little bit with you guys, but I think I might just save that for tomorrow. Alright guys, see ya.